here in Gibraltar still catching its breath after that astonishing performance by Dyson Parodi, a 6-5 winner against Jelle Klaassen, a World Championship semi-finalist, established now in the top 10. But Klaassen is on his way home. Parodi now looking forward to a meeting with Max Hopp in the last 16 tomorrow. The big story, without a shadow of a doubt, here at the Gibraltar Darts Trophy. Tough act for either of these two to follow now. Ian White, number 7 seed for this event against the Spanish qualifier, Antonio Alcinas, who came through very impressively, Dan Dawson, against Stuart Kelly yesterday.
Yes, he did. A 6-1 win for El Dartador, a man whose crowning glory so far in his darts career was a run to the semi-finals of the World Cup of Darts for Spain with his partner Carlos Rodriguez. They knocked out or beat England and Scotland in that run before losing to Holland. And after seeing one of the Gibraltar players make it through to the final day of action, could we have a Spaniard there as well?
Well, it would be good for the makeup of the draw. No room for sentiment, though, as far as Ian White is concerned.
First leg in, throw first. Game on!
Ian White, a man who last year broke into the world's top 8, maintaining his year-on-year progression, having established himself in the top 32 in 2013, the top 16 a year later.
100.
And a man who, as we mentioned yesterday, thrashed Michael van Gerwen 6-0 recently too.
Yes. Hang on.
1
The first whitewash of Michael van Gerwen for a year, and the first whitewash of Michael van Gerwen by someone other than Gary Anderson for 5 years. Quite some achievement as Ian White claimed his 5th PDC title. And when you talk about how he's moved into the world's top 8, I think he's outside of it now. But he did that, and he still hasn't made the semi-finals of any big TV major tournament. That's where all the big money is. That's where you can pile on an absolute load on your rankings. And he's not managed to do that. He's never managed to break it past the quarterfinals. That's always been the barrier that he's come up against. He's come close. He was not very far away from knocking Michael van Gerwen out of the world match play last year. Ended up losing by 3 legs in a long format game. But to do that, to rise up the rankings to such a height without having, 1 or 2 tournaments where he's picked up a load of money, or a final, or even a semi, or a win, obviously, then that's testament to his consistency over the year in all tournaments, whether it be floor or TVs, making the later stages, some of them winning the floor tournaments, the smaller ones, and making a lot of quarterfinals and last 16s elsewhere. 101 is not going for Ian White.
93.
He'll leave himself double 8 now. Alcinas. Just above the treble. It's a little bit unfortunate.
60. You require
double 4 for the first leg on the board and a hold of throw for the number 7 seed Ian White. These two fighting out for a place in the last 16, the final day of action. He's busted. He's busted. He's got a long way into the double 18 there as well. So a real chance for Alcinas.
60.
Last start wasn't very far away, but Ian White can have another go at this double 4. Just composes himself.
He scored.
Well,
Antonio, you require 40.
That's what you call an overcompensation, I think. If you've missed high by an inch and then you miss low, well, it's not even an inch. He's aiming at the middle of the double 4 there, so he's missed by 2 or 3.
Game shot.
no problem there for Alcinas with tops.
Antonio Alcinas, second leg, Antonio to throw first.
And it's a break of throw for the 37-year-old from Mallorca.
59.
Ian White on his walk-on with some, I'm not sure if it's new, I've not seen it before, but some darts merchandise. I'm a big fan of the darts merchandise. Ian White baseball cap.
120.
Handed it out to some young kid on the walk-on. Joins the Darts Merchandise Hall of Fame with the John Henderson poncho and the Jamie Caven prophylactics.
100.
So Alcinas already accounting for one former European Tour finalist in the shape of Stuart Kelly, who reached the final of the UK Masters 3 years
64.
ago. On course perhaps to do Another hit. Ian White's beaten by Adrian Lewis in the final of the German Masters 4 years ago.
85.
I believe that was a tournament he hit a 9-darter in as well. I may be wrong.
We'll look into that, yeah.
Has hit a number of 9-darters in his career as Ian White. When he is hot, he is very, very hot indeed, and that's a great visit for a diamond.
177.
Well, he didn't win a match here last year. He was beaten at this stage. He also failed to win a match in Hildesheim, in Munich
59.
and in Dusseldorf, but he did make the semis in both Riese
139.
and in Mulheim.
Yeah, he's another one of those players who was being talked about as a potential
99.
debutant in the Premier League this year. I think his chances came to a shuddering halt in the first round of the World Championship when Dimitri Vandenberg beat him. But Dimitri was really good that day as well.
Yeah.
Averaged over 100, played some very, very good darts to the young Belgian. Tops for Ian White.
Game shot,
go.
the second leg. Ian White. Third leg in, throw first. Game on.
Situations between retrieved there, I should say. And we are level once again. Yeah, he had that good run at the World Grand Prix in Dublin when he beat Gary Anderson. And I suppose if you're campaigning or challenging or at least putting your hat into the ring for a Premier League place, it was a timely thing to do. But like you say, he didn't really back it up at all in the World Championship.
Yeah, it's difficult to say what would have been
60.
good enough to get him into the Premier League.
Yeah, what would he have had to do?
Well,
ultimately,
it's very, very, very difficult to say. I mean, obviously,
31.
we talked about Jelle Klaassen earlier. Had Jelle Klaassen gone one game more and made the final, he probably would have been in himself. Michael Smith made the quarterfinals. He got into the Premier League. But, I mean, it's a lot of his work on the European Tour has been part of the reason he managed to make his debut this year. 3-time winner in the European Tour.
Yeah, and 2 of those successes coming last year. Joe Mernon awaits the winner of this
26.
Yeah, what a game we had early. We had some really good darts this afternoon. Joe Mernon's game against Terry Jenkins was phenomenal. Both men averaging over 103 as Alcinas looks to fill it up. And oh, that's unfortunate.
123. $135. $99.
Well, Alcinas gets himself down to a finish. We could be on for a 3rd consecutive break of throw here.
Well, that trims it down to 170, so that's why Ian White was taking his time there, just to make absolutely short.
Yeah, single 20 would have left him bogey number, so
94.
he's given himself a chance, but Antonio Alcinas has left himself double top. Can Ian White steal this leg away from him? No, he can't, not on this visit at any rate, and Alcinas will come back looking at tops.
100.
He hit tops in the first leg.
Successive break here as well.
A 3rd successive break, a 3rd successive leg on double top potentially. Well, it'll have to be double 10. Ooh, now
20. Ian, you require 70.
it'll be treble 10 or treble 18 he looks at. Stride to the oche. Careful place of the toe. Looks up. It'll be 18s, I think. Wonderful dart. Double 8. Still double 8.
62.
Not there, is it?
Antonio, you require 20.
Double 5.
10 score.
Oh,
Ian, you
chance
require
after
8.
chance going begging in this one.
Not been a spectacular leg by any stretch of the imagination, but
Game
Ian
shown
White won't care about that because he's come
Ian White,
through
full leg
unscathed,
Antonio,
albeit after 22 darts. And he holds for a 2-1 lead.
He'll be delighted to hit double 4 without busting it. Oh, no.
180.
Not bad, Antonio Alcinas.
First maximum of the match for the Spaniard.
$135. $134.
That's a good switch by Alcinas. Promises to be a better leg, this one. It was a very sluggish third leg.
Well, all three completed legs so
86.
far haven't been particularly inspiring, if we're honest. Certainly around the back end of legs, not been able to finish them off particularly well, but
45.
well, a maximum here would be wonderful for Ian White. It would be wonderful. A ton 40. He needed ton 40 to get to a finish, but it would have been a very big one. It was either 180 or not real pressure. But if Antonio fails to find a treble here, then White is back in this leg, and
60.
yeah. Very high is my prediction on this dart. Yeah.
140. Antonio require 82.
Now, bullseye, 17 for tops. Tops. For 2-2 and Alcinas. Well,
Antonio Alcinas.
haven't set it up brilliantly. It could have been easier. He only got one dart at the double, but one dart is all he needed. And we are level at 2 apiece as Cristo Reyes, Antonio's World Cup of Darts partner, looks on.
123.
Cristo dumped out by Christian Kist in the first round.
140.
Kist failing to make it through to the final day of action, beaten by an outstanding Mervyn King earlier on, as Ian White looks to fill it up. Just to settle for the 10-40. Looking to go into the lead again.
100.
Far behind Antonio Alcinas. El Dartador.
He's looking a very confident player here today. Plenty of confidence in thrashing Stuart Kellett yesterday, 6-1. No need to be overawed.
140.
He is a dangerous player, Antonio. I mean, he's been around for a few years. Had a very lean spell. I mean, he's been playing
60.
Challenge Tour. He played
You require
Challenge Tour last year. Made a couple of semi-finals on the same day. About this sort of time last year. Ian White will be very aware of how capable he is.
80.
And he will return. He's just a bit frustrated. You very rarely see Ian White betray any emotion on stage. Off stage, he's one of the most friendly, bouncy guys you could meet, as Alcinas hits a 177 to pile the pressure on this.
Doesn't want to miss inside here, Ian White. Doesn't want to hit the double 14 either. Has come inside, so double 4.
Oh, he's done it again. He's done it again. He hit double 4 last leg, well, in the third leg, and I thought that's banished all those problems with it, but the third time now, he's bust double 4. And Antonio Alcinas to go into the lead, hits double 6, and the Spaniard, well, could we see another top 16 player knocked out by a guy outside of the world's top 124?
14 dart breaker throw there for Antonio Alcinas. For a 3-2 lead.
These two have met 3 times before. Ian White has won every single time.
But that is counting for little now.
Well,
41.
quite. He won 6-2 and 6-4 in 2013, so, you know, quite some time ago. But they did meet last year in the UK Open qualifiers, and he won that 6-3. So, Antonio,
100.
he's given him games, but he's not taken him all the way to a deciding leg. And at the moment, well, I mean, he's got the break. He's throwing for a 2-leg advantage. And Ian White is in a spot of bother here. Ian White, the man who whitewashed MVG last month.
Just shows you, doesn't it?
140.
It shows us it's a silly game. It's a silly game played by silly people, and you can't predict what they're going to do.
In a world where, you know, Dyson Parodi can beat a top 10 player. But like I said at the outset yesterday, this is a world now in which 5,000 to 1 shots can come good in the world of sport. So anything can happen. Leicester City are inspiring the likes of Alcinas and Dyson Parodi. This is Ranieri's doing all this.
Wow. 28.
Could we have an Alcinas Parodi final? Is that possible? Are they in opposite sides of the draw?
I was going to say, it's a shame Jamie Caven's not here this weekend.
Wow.
Leicester man.
Yes, indeed.
That would have completed the treble with Mark Selby's success in the snooker.
Antonio require 134.
Here we go.
And back up to the 20.
94.
Yeah, so leave himself double
He
top.
only require
Nicely done.
137.
He's hit it twice before, so the 137 might have to go here. And it's not going to. And Antonio Alcinas to establish a two-leg cushion for the first bit of daylight between these two.
Antonio, you require 40.
Not more than a leg between them so far in this one. Double 10. Oh!
32.
Oh, wow.
He only requires
3
78.
missed darts. Ian White looking at 78. Treble 18 for double 12. If he hits the single, it'll be 20 for tops afterwards. Gets the treble. 2 darts for 3 apiece. And an immediate break back. Double 6.
72.
Everything round that area of the board for him on the doubles. He's been really struggling, Ian White.
Alcinas then double 4 for a 4-2 lead, and it's found its way into the green still. And there is daylight now between these two. These two players, by the way, in the third quarter of the draw. That's the same quarter as Peter Wright, the number 2 seed here this weekend.
So yeah, the opposite half from Van Gerwen.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. I mean, Peter Wright's got a tough task on his hands against Darryl Gurney as well later, so let's not assume that he'll get through.
97.
But there is, there's a definite slant on the opposite sides of the draw. That's a very impressive collection of hats provided by the sponsor.
Just the 45. Antonio Alcinas has effectively stolen the darts. Can he capitalise upon it? Oh, just 90. Thought he fired in a 135 there. Had he done so, then he would have been all sorts of bother. He's still got a bit of a hole to dig himself out of.
81.
81 doesn't help.
No. Chance here for Alcinas to break again if he can kick on here. Could do with a treble of sorts.
59.
Can't find one. Bit of a let-off here for Ian White, but he's still got work to do.
He really does. He can't afford to go 5-2 down. Surely not.
140.
Antonio Alcinas is playing his 5th European Tour event. Before this weekend, he'd never won a game. So in the 4 previous events, he'd not won at all. His win in the first round against Stuart Kelly was his first win on the European Tour, to follow it up with a win against a top player and find himself in the final day of action. Well, what stories we'd have going into the last 16.
Well, that's it. If you'd said to me at the start of the weekend there'll be a Spanish player in the last 16, who's it going to be? I'd have said Cristo Reyes, without a shadow of doubt. But, well, Alcinas is not there yet. But he's closing in on a 5-2 lead, unless Ian White can take out this Shanghai.
Well, he hit 20 in the second leg. He's going to get a dart at tops again. Can he find his way there? He can't. Not this time. Alcinas, 2 darts for another break and a 5-2 lead.
16 and tops, you suspect. He's certainly looking at that side. Yep. Tops he wants then. 5-2. Big moment this.
16.
And he doesn't take the opportunity.
You only require 40.
Well, we saw plenty of misses in some of the games early on. John Henderson springs to mind. He had a dart for 5-1 and ended up losing to Robert Thornton. And maybe that is a moment that will come back to haunt Antonio Alcinas. He had 2 darts for a 5-2 lead, but Ian White has clawed things back to 4-3.
Yeah, it could be a turning point, that one. We'll find out soon enough.
100.
Not particularly damaging for Alcinas because it was on the white throw anyway. The break of throw would have been a bonus, obviously, for him, but he's still in a good position here. Throwing first here for a 5-3 lead.
58.
And White once again posting a sub-100 score with his first 3 darts.
100.
Well, I flew into Gibraltar. There aren't many flights into Gibraltar, even though you wouldn't believe that
wouldn't
listening
know
to our commentary, because there's planes coming and going all the time from the runway about 7 yards away from our commentary position. But I came in flying from Birmingham. Ian White was on that plane. Steve Beaton was on that plane. Terry Jenkins was on that plane. And White flies in his first 180 of this game. But Beaton has gone. Jenkins has gone.
44.
And Ian White is in serious trouble.
So it's now looking as though it was the flight of doom.
Well, I can assure you I'm not going to win a game of darts in Gibraltar either.
Unless we have a
even then.
friendly encounter later on. I'm not suggesting you play me, by the way, because you probably will win a match, but no, one of the Dutch guys will take you on.
59.
Well, that maximum from Ian White is giving him the opportunity here to get the break of throw that he needs. Doesn't need to use the bull here, so he may just stay on the treble 20, hammer that, and leave himself a double if possible. Well, he could do with hitting a treble.
60.
That's the 60, and that half opens the door.
$134.
Not
Nicely done.
bad,
You require
Antonio.
107.
Gets the treble. Ian White for 4 apiece.
79.
Well, it was a lot closer over on this side of the board on the left than some of his efforts at doubles on the right-hand side, but it still wasn't close enough. And Antonio Alcinas is going to get 1 dart at double 16 for 5-3, and he's missed it. He missed 2 darts in the last leg. He's missed 1 dart in this leg. And Ian White, can he make him pay and restore parity for the first time since the 4th leg? Yes, he
Trying
can.
the 8th leg. Ian White.
Well, Alcinas
Nice leg in the throw first.
can't afford to dwell on this now,
Game on.
but perhaps he's seeing the match just slip away from him. He had it in his grasp. He was closing in on a 5-2 lead at one stage, and he's now level at 4-4.
Yeah, opportunities in the last 2 legs. 3 darts in total, all missed by Alcinas. Ian White
60.
has got out of jail, but he is not free just yet. Certainly not now. Certainly not now. What a response, Antonio Alcinas. That's his 2nd maximum to add to the 177 he hit earlier in the match.
Seen that so many times. Just when you think players have completely gone off the boil, they then come up with a set of darts like that, and it's just another reminder for Ian White that he will not be gifted any passage into the 3rd round from here. That first dart was just above the wire.
95.
Yeah, that's deflected an inch there, that last dart. A little bit unfortunate there. It looked a well-thrown effort, but smashed off the first dart into the treble 5.
57.
57. Alcinas, look at this. Oh, he's back in that treble bet. That's a leg of darts for Antonio Alcinas after the disappointment of missing darts for the last 2 legs. He is now on an 11-darter to potentially break Ian White and go within 1 leg of the last 16 in the final day of action.
85. Antonio, you
Well, he's
require
got all the time in the world. He
86.
doesn't need to use the bullseye here. He will look at the 18s. Now, yeah, he's not going to stay on the 18s. Now it's just a case of what double he
54.
wants. And he's left double 16. Ian White, just try and apply some pressure. Try and make this as difficult as possible for Alcinas. He has missed doubles.
58.
He's missed darts in the last 2 legs to go within a leg of the last 16. He's just trying to maintain his composure. Double 16 he's looking at, and double 16 he pins. It's a 13-darter and a break of throw, and Alcinas once again is favourite for this match. And Ian White, having clawed his way back to level at 4-all, now has to win 2 legs on the spin or he'll be knocked out of the Gibraltar Darts Trophy.
And that is a clear and present danger for Ian White now. Simply no margin for error here for him. The number 7 seed is on the brink of going out at the very first hurdle. Unless he can produce something spectacular here. And that's not a bad start, is it? Just exactly what the doctor ordered there.
60.
Well, they both hit 2 maximums and both hit 2 177s. There hasn't been much between them in this. Can Ian White take us all the way to a deciding leg? He would have the throw if he can do it. What a start. Tell you what. Oh. Look at this, these two. Trading blows in the dying stages of this one.
Third 180 of the match for Alcinas. Will it be enough to get him over the line here, though?
58.
Well, he can get his nose back in front here.
Well, only require 123.
Nip and suck.
Well, Ian White, 1 treble gets him a dart at the bullseye. Alcinas, 1 treble gets him a dart at a double.
Treble 18 leaves the ball. Ian White to level things up at 5 apiece. Brave darts from Ian White. So much resilience and so much character.
Game on.
That is absolutely brilliant from Ian White. And we are into an 11th and deciding leg.
Given these circumstances, you will struggle to see a better shot this weekend. 123, single 19, knew the next 2 darts had to be perfect. Treble 18 ball against the throw, gets the break. We've gone all the way and Ian White's kicked off 180. That's why he is one of the top players in the world. Antonio Alcinas must feel like he's just been kicked in the guts. He was sat on 106 for the match and never returned to the board for it. And he's just seen Ian White with the throw kick off 180 in the decider.
Well, it would have been too much to expect a 9-dart finish in this deciding leg, but Ian White won't care about that. He has a 200-plus cushion here. Alcinas just has to respond the best way he can, and that might not be enough.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's enough. He may be relying on Ian White missing doubles at the end of this. We have seen some bizarre ends to games already here in Gibraltar this weekend. John Henderson saw Wayne Jones miss 13 match darts against him before he beat him in the first round. John Henderson then missed a match dart to beat Robert Thornton in the second round before losing 6-5. Alcinas is 62 points behind. Ian White knows a ton 40 will leave him tops for the match.
And that will leave Alcinas just hoping and praying that White fluffs his lines once again on the doubles. 5 from 18 so far for Ian White, 5 from 21 for Alcinas. And there is the 140.
Just what the doctor ordered for the diamond. Alcinas needs to find the treble and not that treble. So Ian White is allowed to just take his time with this. No pressure. Can he find the target? He can, and it's bang in the middle. And Ian White spreads his arms in relief, and you can see how relieved he is. He has somehow pulled that out the fire because he was in all kinds of problems there. Antonio Alcinas, it's been a good weekend for him. He's managed to win on the European Tour for the first time. He very nearly made it through to the final day of action. We have 8 more places in the last 16 up for grabs this evening. That'll be starting at 7 o'clock local time. And we're going to start with the Austrian Michael Rastovitz against the Belgian, the number 5 seed Kim Huybrecht's got some big names on the way. Michael van Gerwen, world champion Gary Anderson, 3-time Euro Tour winner Michael Smith, the likes of James Wade, Stephen Bunting against Benito van der Pas is some game. That will all be on the way this evening as the Pepper Army Gibraltar Darts Trophy continues. What an afternoon of darts we've had here, and what a story.